Alright guys, so welcome to another segment of my vinyl collection. So let's get into it. Start off with, we have A Love Supreme from John Coltrane. I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't care what your favorite genre of music is. If you don't have any jazz in your collection, you should get some jazz in your collection. And this is a really great jazz album. I do love how it has like this big foreword by the man himself, John Coltrane, and short little essay from Michael Kiskuna down there, as well as like a big poem. Back of it. And you know, just good old black vinyl. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to get like, you know, a really classic album like this on some crazy colored vinyl, but you know, nice Impulse Records label. They have cool labels, even though I think this might be my only Impulse album, but yeah, this is a great jazz record. Next, we are getting into my Daft Punk collection. Everybody loves Daft Punk. Starting off with one of their most popular albums, Discovery. Very glossy cover. Just look at that gatefold. Let's see, nothing in that sleeve. So got custom sleeves. Funny thing, so this one's blank. This is the dumbest thing ever, but with the early pressings, this side had like some information printed on it, like how you can download some additional content on the internet. And even though that website is expired, I really wish I had a sleeve that had that information on it, just because it looked cool. But and here's the other vinyl. Love the. We have lyrics on the back. And I also have a couple singles on vinyl. I do have Random Access Memories on vinyl, but I have the deluxe. Got a little pop-up on my phone, but I have the deluxe box set of that, so I'll show that later. But here we have Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger with several different remixes. I'm generally not a big fan of these singles that just have multiple versions of the same song, but these remixes are like so diverse, it makes it worth it. I particularly love the Neptunes remix, but yeah, it's just on black vinyl, but I do love these center labels. If you haven't seen their movie, Interstellar 5555, I believe it's called, that's a fun watch. I've seen it on the internet a few times. I think it's kind of a hard movie to track down at this point, but I'd really like to get a DVD of it or something. I also have their single, Get Lucky, a little sticker up here. This is one of those singles that has like 3 different versions of the same song. And honestly, they're not even that diverse in their different versions. Like, you know, we have the original, a radio edit, and a remix that doesn't incorporate any new elements. It's just, you know, remixes what was already there. You also have a little download card if anybody wants to try their hands at that. But as I always say, most of my downloads, even though they're unclaimed, they're also pretty old. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're expired. Now we're getting into my Death from Above collection. Just sort of like this dance punk band with drums, bass, a little bit of synthesizer. Yeah, this is, what is this called? Heads Up. They're surprisingly good debut EP. Maybe not the strongest production, but in terms of like the songwriting performance, it's pretty solid. Nice split colored vinyl, cool center labels. The thing is weird that they labeled it AF. I don't know if like that's supposed to stand as fuck or something, you know, obnoxious like that. But it makes it kind of confusing for me whenever I play this. Next up, so I don't have their debut album on vinyl. I have it on CD. I actually have just the disc, nothing else. But after their debut album, they went on something like a 10-year hiatus or something like that. And then they finally came back with Physical World. This is probably my least favorite album of theirs. It's still pretty decent. I mean, in general, even though I love them, I gotta admit they don't really progress their sound as well as I would like them to. I mean, you're kind of limited when, you know, you have such a stripped down and specific instrumentation. But yeah, this just kind of feels like a watered down, less energetic version of their first album. It is like a die cut, so that's pretty cool. We've got lyrics with that. The rest of the artwork and these sort of tattoo designs based on all of their songs. And then we got the vinyl itself with different colored labels, which, like I said before, is always just a weird thing that I like with vinyl. And lastly, we have a download card. So yeah, in between this and the album I'm about to show you, they did release another album, Outrage Now. It's pretty good, but I only have that on CD. But I do have their most recent album, Death From Above Is For Lovers. So you may have noticed with the first two that I've shown, the artwork's pretty similar. And yeah, basically with every album they just update their logo based on, you know, how they look. And, you know, add the funny elephant trunks. Except for this album. And I'm not a big fan of the artwork for it. But otherwise, I mean, it's some great music, but I got it signed. That's always cool. Back with the track listing. Got a gatefold with some lyrics. Always cool. Yeah, we got custom sleeves with some more kind of generic photograph artwork. And as I mentioned before, I hate these side loading sleeves, but it is pretty cool color that they got on it. And, you know, that is their updated logo. I just really wish it was on the cover instead of, you know, these really generic old photographs. Yeah, this is a pretty solid album from them. A little bit more on the dancier side for them, a little bit more electronics heavy. Next up we have Descendants, Everything Sucks. This band is hella fun. You know, a lot of the punk from that era, you know, is very aggressive and opinionated. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's not true about Descendants too, but they're just a whole lot more fun than a lot of the other punk from that era. And yeah, I do love punk in general, but yeah, this is a particularly fun punk album. Highly recommend it. Now we're going to get into some soundtracks. So we got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. The music is by Alexandre Desplat. This is the only Harry Potter soundtrack that I have, actually. I believe my Barnes & Noble was doing like some sort of special sale on vinyl. And I couldn't really find much that appealed to me, but that time I was particularly listening to a lot of the Harry Potter soundtracks on Spotify, because for a while I was big onto Spotify. And so yeah, went ahead and picked up this record. I'd like to get some of those classic John Williams, but I mean, really, they're all pretty solid regardless of which movie it is. Now, for probably my last, we got Iron Man soundtrack. For some reason, I cut it just down the side. I don't know why I did that, but mine's numbered 8 of 500 on a sticker, so only 500 of these are made. I love the Iron Man soundtrack. Nice mix of orchestral, rock, and industrial elements. Love the center labels on these, and it's on gold vinyl. And I'm going to make the executive decisions to go ahead and show off one more record, but I'll have to grab one. Alright, since I was on a roll and I was just seconds below 10 minutes, and I aim for 10 to 15 minutes with these, I went ahead and grabbed one more. So we got Discover America, Future Paths. So this is a fairly brief project from Chris Staples, who was at one time the frontman of an indie rock band by the name of 238. However, they broke up. He started doing solo music, and for the most part, he's just gone by his own name. But for a while, he went by Discover America. Take a look at that lyric insert. And for this album, he enlisted the help of a lot of session musicians. This has a little bit more of what I'd say is kind of a alt country vibe to it going on it. But, you know, still pretty classic indie singer-songwriter stuff. I love the way how, like, he just incorporates a lot of different elements. You know, you got acoustic guitar, electric guitar, generous amounts of synthesizers and keys and other cool shit like that. So yeah, check out Discover America / Chris Staples if you haven't already. So yeah, that's my last for this one. I knocked out a lot of records this time, so that's exciting. I will see you for my next segment.